Most people choose a Long Beach neighborhood the same way they choose a hotel for a weekend trip. One pretty photo, one cute street, one good first impression. And that is exactly how you end up in a house you love, inside a lifestyle that quietly wears you out. Because a photo will not tell you what happens on a Tuesday night when parking is a fight. It will not tell you whether your kids can actually move around independently. And it definitely will not tell you whether your week feels calm, connected, convenient, or constantly harder than it needs to be. Long Beach is not one city with one vibe. It is a collection of completely different ways to live. And if you're relocating here, the real question is not which neighborhood looks best online. The real question is which part of Long Beach makes everyday life easier for my family. I'm Hernandez, your personal real estate advisor. And if you want a practical shortcut while you watch, I put together a free Long Beach relocation strategy guide to help you compare neighborhoods by commute, lifestyle fit, school considerations, and day-to-day convenience. You can download it from the link below. But stay with me because over the next few minutes, I'm going to show you the hidden community ecosystems where locals actually spend their time and how to decode this massive city before you make a costly mistake. Long Beach does not have one single heartbeat. With over 50 square miles and wildly divergent neighborhoods, an aesthetic preference can easily lead you into a daily grind that completely drains your energy. You have to match your family's actual routine, your tolerance for noise, your need for structured activities, how much independence you want to give your teenagers with the rhythm of the streets. If you're a family looking to put down deep roots and you crave a quiet, predictable week, your search begins in Bixby, Knolls, and CalHeights. Imagine this scenario for a moment. It is exactly 7:15 on a Tuesday morning. The Bixby Knolls Strollers Club gathers around Steelhead Coffee, Wood Coffee Co. They are not just grabbing quick caffeine, they are executing a highly structured weekly rhythm that forces repeated, intentional neighborly contact. This is an inland suburban preservation zone. The streets are defined by meticulously maintained craftsman and Spanish colonial revival homes with deep property setbacks, heavy tree canopies, and a fiercely loyal corridor culture. The monthly rhythm here is practically handed to you. The massive Kittico mass family bike rides ensure your children rule the streets under the safety of contracted security patrols, while adults gather at local nods like ambitious elves using the free community electric shuttle. The presence of the CSI security patrol provides a visible, reassuring layer of safety for youth navigating the pedestrian zone between Bixby Road and San Antonio Drive. Evenings here are remarkably quiet on the residential interior streets, with social life taking a heavily programmed approach. Here's what that changes for you as a buyer. You gain absolute unwavering predictability and an automatic parent network without the exhaustion of having to constantly plan for your own social life. Your kids grew up with traditions. If you're an owner selling in these historic districts, you already know the strict exterior design guidelines protect your property values. But you must heavily lean into that preserved aesthetic and historic charm when preparing your home for the market to attract a buyer who is desperately seeking that exact nostalgic charm. But what if a quiet street feels like a dead street to you? If you're a creative, an entrepreneur, or someone who wants the city to be an active platform for growth, you need the East Village Arts District and downtown Long Beach. This is a highly concentrated, walkable hub of creative momentum and rapid civic networking. The morning pace here is brisk and heavily caffeinated, driven by professionals navigating transit corridors along Ocean Boulevard. Instead of suburban park days, your children's after-school realities leans on formalized enrichment. They're taking manual film photography classes at Helada Gallery, learning Renaissance drawing techniques, or navigating towards partner community organizations for youth leadership. On the second Saturday of every month, the district completely transforms. Local artists and collectives take over the grid, and a strict no dropshipping vendor policy ensures the culture remains fiercely authentic. The hidden access points, like the secret saloon buried beneath the historic Broadline Hotel, provide high-quality recovery spaces for professionals post-work. Here's what that means for your family. You secure an intensely concentrated hub of opportunity, allowing you to constantly expand your networks and skill sets without ever turning a key in the ignition. If you're a buyer moving here, you must actively embrace the friction of tight parking and the ambient noise of a dense urban core as a completely fair trade for unparalleled cultural access. If you're an owner, highlight the immediate proximity to these elite walkable enrichment hubs because that walkability is your ultimate premium feature. So let me ask you, Are you optimizing for high density energy or do you need a quiet coastal calm? Drop your answer in the comments below because that one decision can eliminate half the city from your search right away. And if you want help turning that answer into an actual relocation plan, download the free Long Beach relocation guide below or book a one-on-one call with me. Now let us shift to the people who actively protect their peace of mind and prioritize fresh air over nightlife. Welcome to the Eastside Loop, encompassing the Dorado Nature Center, Marine Stadium, and the Belmont Pool Complex. This pocket functions as the city's premier biological reset button. When you cross the small bridge into the interior of the Dorado Nature Center, the ambient roar of the adjacent freeway drops away entirely. You are suddenly immersed in 105 acres of dirt trails and miniature forests. This environment naturally supports movement without requiring exhausting logistical planning. The weekly rhythm relies heavily on the Wednesday afternoon Marine Stadium Farmers Market. This is not a weekend tourist trap. It is a vital midweek provisioning and socializing ritual for dedicated locals sourcing California-grown produce while listening to live music along the expansive waterway. Soon, the newly approved Belmont Beach and Aquatic Center will introduce universal access features, fundamentally changing how wellness operates on the coast. You can engage in sunset paddleboarding, the city's active adaptive recreation programs at local parks, or participate in formally guided forest bathing sensory experiences. Here's what happens when you secure this fit. Your environment naturally pulls your family towards trail running, competitive swimming, and meditative recovery, completely shielding you from the urban stress. If you're a buyer, you buy back your energy, trading late night networking for early morning vitality and massive municipal infrastructure. If you're an owner looking to sell, you must position your property as a frictionless health retreat, emphasizing the seamless access to these specific municipal trails and aquatic centers. Of course, some families fundamentally believe the city is their living room. So if you're a social butterfly or a parent who wants your teenagers to have safe independence, isolation is the ultimate enemy. You belong in Belmont Shore, Naples, or Retro Road. The energy in these pockets rarely dissipates. In Belmont Shore, the weekly rhythm involves early walks along the flat, compact grid, tracing the canals of Naples before the massive summer stroll and savory culinary events completely take over 2nd Street. Teenagers navigate their own social life safely on foot or wheels, moving fluidly between independent retail spaces and the beach without any vehicular reliance. Over on 4th Street, the historic Art Theater anchors a district filled with vintage community hubs and a monthly 4th Friday art walks with live pop-up music. Over in Naples, the unique atmospheric conditions of the canals during the winter, where windless nights turn the water into a sheet of glass resembling a bowl of ink, creates the perfect canvas for the massive annual boat parade reflections. Meanwhile, places like Pigeon's Roller Rink provide a highly accepting subculture hub, giving youth a safe, physical outlet to socialize autonomously. Here's what that changes for you as a family. You are buying robust, unsupervised independence for your teenagers who no longer need you to chauffeur them to experience culture, food, or community. If you're moving here, you gain a relentlessly varied daily life, but you will also endure constant parking friction and massive regional tourist spillover. If you're an owner here, your property's value is deeply tied to its walk score. Emphasize the specific, spontaneous lifestyle and food as a habit convenience your location provides. As promised, here is the quick way to decide if a highly structured side of town fits your week. For the privacy seekers who evaluate a neighborhood by what it prevents rather than what it promotes, you need to look at Wrigley, Lakewood Village, or Park Estates. These pockets offer a masterclass in civic control and historic resilience. In Wrigley, the morning commute is defined by ruthless efficiency, bypassing inner city gridlock via immediate freeway access. Activity revolves around the newly expanded Wrigley Greenbelt, providing a structured, safe, walkable trail physically isolated from vehicular traffic. The community interactions are formal, deliberate, and fiercely protected by the oldest neighborhood association in the city. Weekends rotate around intense property maintenance or localized family-centric events like the historic historic Daisy Avenue Christmas Tree Lane Parade. You even have an urban equestrian survival anomaly in Wrigley Heights, where active horse training trails along the LA River represents a literal piece of the 1700s rancho lifestyle surviving today's within a dense city. Over in Park Estates, strict architectural covenants enforced by local homeowners associations maintain the mid-century ranch homes and mature tree canopies. Here is what that means for your daily life. You obtain historically protected square footage guarded by fierce grassroots advocacy, ensuring your weekly routine has zero surprises. If you're a buyer, you gain environmental predictability, knowing the community will defend your quiet streets against overdevelopment. If you're an owner, your pristine maintenance and adherence to these strict community standards are exactly what the next privacy-focused buyer is desperately looking for. To truly validate these findings, you cannot merely drive through a neighborhood at 2 in the afternoon on a Tuesday. You must test the friction points. Attempt to source coffee and walk a dog at 7:30 in the morning to see if there is a safe path and community of regulars. Drive the primary commercial corridor at 3:30 in the afternoon. Are the 14-year-olds safe, or are they navigating high-speed traffic? Attempt to park a large SUV near your prospective home at 8:30 on a Friday night. The resulting stress level is your absolute baseline reality. Long Beach does not offer a single best neighborhood. It offers multiple distinct right answers. So your mandate is clear. Pick the pocket that makes your daily habits easy. Because ultimately, your default behaviors, where you walk, how hard you fight for parking, who your children see on the sidewalk, become your reality of life. Do not let a glossy amenity list dictate your family's peace of mind. If you're ready to stop guessing and start making a smart move, download my free Long Beach relocation guide, link below. And if you want personalized help, book a one-on-one strategy call. I'm Mr. Hernandez, and I'll see you in the next video.